Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Think Once Code Anywhere. Today let us discuss an interesting topic about front end and back end and what are the difference between front end and what are the most popular technologies that is available on both front end as well as back end, and let's discuss about the scope for our future. So for example, if you take Java as a mandatory language, or if you take Java as your primary language, let us discuss how you can shine in future just by using Java itself. So let's start with this. So the main difference between front end and back end, this is what we are going to discuss today. And the very first thing is about front end technology. So the most important technology for front end is like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So HTML is nothing but it is a markup language, so that refers hypertext markup language, and the recent version of HTML is HTML5, and this is also called as the skeleton for any website. So if you want to develop a web page or if you want to develop any native apps, again you need to know about the basics of HTML. So same way we have a next language called as CSS, which is not a language but we used to consider it as markup language, where it is considered as cascading style sheet. So the CSS is one particular thing which is going to add style to our web page. So HTML is a skeleton for our program or else for our web page. CSS is nothing but it is giving us the style for our entire program, our entire web page, and JavaScript is nothing but it used to act like or else it makes our page more dynamic. So to make your web page, or if you want to make your web application to be a dynamic one, we are going to use something called as JavaScript. So these are all mandatory ones to be learnt before entering into any particular technologies. So next is there are some frameworks available for CSS, and the first and foremost popular one is Bootstrap, and similar to Bootstrap we have one more framework that's called as Materialize CSS, right? So either you can go with Bootstrap or you can go with Materialize CSS, and it's of your wish. So either you can choose any one among both. And the main advantage of using Bootstrap as well as Materialize CSS is it adds some more style to your components. So it adds too much of styling to your web page. As a result, it will be a dynamic web page, as well as it alters automatically whenever you change the size of your screen. So whenever you see a website in a desktop or a laptop or a mobile phone or an iPad, so it automatically adjusts itself according to the screen size. So this is one advantage of going with Bootstrap framework as well as Materialize. So similar to this, we have a certain number of JavaScript libraries, and these are some famous libraries. For example, Vue.js, React.js, Ember.js, Backbone.js, Angular.js. We still have Vanilla.js, Coffee.js and so on. But still, the most popular ones to be chosen from JavaScript libraries is React, Angular and Vue.js. Right? So either you can go with any one of the frameworks or you can go with any one of the libraries among these three. Right? So preferably React.js, because we have a wide scope for React.js in the year 2020 as well as, so as of now we can say React.js has a good scope, but still if no other JS libraries come forward with a good plan, React.js is going to rule the entire world. Right? So this is a good framework, as well as you can also say it as a library which was developed by Facebook community. And followed by this, we also have we used to call some persons as mean stack developer or merge stack developer or full stack developer. And here for front end we have two famous developing mode. So first one is mean stack developer. So what is mean stack? So mean stack includes MongoDB, Express.js, AngularJS and Node.js, right? So these are all the four technologies we are going to learn to make our front end, right? So next is similar to this, we have one more thing called as merge stack, where merge stack includes MongoDB, Express.js, React.js and Node.js. So here we are learning AngularJS. So instead of AngularJS, here we are going with React.js, right? So preferably you can choose any one technology out of this, mean stack or else merge stack, right? So it is based on the user's wish. So next is the mandatory technologies which you have to learn before starting with front end. The thing is HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript. So these are all the three main languages or three main technologies which you have to familiar about before going into any of the web technologies, right? So along with this, we also have too many technologies, like we have PHP, Laravel, we have Ruby on Rails. We can opt out any technology, but whatever technology we are going to opt out, so the key part is learning front end development. So and next is So we have seen about front-end development. Now let's move with back-end development. So back-end development includes the key part of back-end development is nothing but programming, and here I'll give you a small tip how to become a hero in programming, right? So we actually have to follow 4 steps, and the very first step is understanding the syntax which we are going to use for our program, right? So first, if you are familiar with the syntax, you can modify the syntax by yourself, or else you very well know about the syntax, so that you can come up with some different ideas. So you know how a particular syntax will work for a program, and you can develop your own logic. So the second step is cracking the logic to solve any program. So if you are receiving a question, to solve the question, the very first step you have to follow is cracking the logic. And third step is implementing that logic which you have developed into a computer program, right? So first step is understanding the syntax before going into a programming language. Second step is cracking the logic to solve that particular code, and third step is implementing that logic into a program. And next is compiling the program. If there is any small errors, you should be able to clear those errors, and after that you need to clear all the hidden test cases, or you need to understand what are all the possible input and output you are going to receive. So if you follow these 4 steps in a proper way, you can become a hero for programming. So is acquiring knowledge only on programming part sufficient to become a successful person after 2020? So if you ask the question to any such person who is into IT field or into development field, they'll definitely say no, because no one expects you to be a really good coder alone, right? So even if you have a good programming skills, that is not sufficient to be successful. Apart from programming, you need to develop some on-demand skills of popular frameworks, right? So we have too many frameworks, and more than learning a programming part, you need to concentrate on these frameworks also, right? So fix one particular framework and be a master of this backend technology, right? Say for example, if you are opting out your favorite programming language as Python, then go with some popular framework that comes under Python. Or else if you say that I will be a person who will be using only Java, so in that case you still have much more frameworks comparing with Python. In Java also you can opt out any one framework that is available under Java, and you can go with that. And it is not enough just to learn the backend technologies. You need to also develop some projects by yourself, right? So just choose your favorite technology and build some projects in that technology. So next step is best programming language that is considered in 2020. So I'll be giving preference for C or C++, Python and Java. And apart from this, we have too many languages, like we have PHP, we have Ruby on Rails, we have Golang, right? So but still these 3 always have a much demand in the market, right? So make sure you are opting out any one of these languages and you are going with a proper flow. So next is real-time usage of C and C++. So coming back to the first logo, so we have COVID-19, right? So actually we are facing about this coronavirus issue. Same way we have one more computer virus that actually attacks every computer or every server, right? So where virus are mostly written in the language of C and C++, right? So even in Google, if you check with this, so all the virus or most of the virus files are written by using C and C++, because all the operating systems, see here, Windows, Linux, Red Hat, Mac OS, Solaris, so most of the popular operating system are actually developed by using C and C++. So that's the main reason why they have written all the virus by using C or C++, which can easily affect your operating system. And coming back to the middle diagram, here we see something called as Unity, right? So Unity is nothing but it is a framework, or even you can say it is a software development tool which helps us develop a game directly, right? So by using Unity we can develop a game for which we need to have a familiar knowledge about C++. So this is all about the real-time usage of C and C++. Let's move back with Python and Java. So for Python, we have a very good framework called as Flask as well as Django, where for Flask users and Django users have always a clash with each other. Like, so there will be a person who will be saying Flask is the most favorite, or it is the most popular framework for web application development. Same way, there are a set of people who say Django is the most popular framework, right? So either you can choose Flask or you can go with Django framework. So apart from these two frameworks, this which comes under web development, we still have a lot of scope in Python, and one of the scope is going with machine learning, deep learning, and so on. And next is about artificial intelligence, and also if you are too good at mathematics, you can also opt out data science as your career, right? So you can go with any one of the technology which comes under Python, and for all these 5 technologies, the base one is nothing but your Python programming language. So if you are good at Python, then you can choose any one out of this for your career. So next comes the Java. So if you are good at Java, then you can go with Android development. So for Android application development, you have to use the programming language as Java. And coming back to this, so Spring and Hibernate refers, it is a web development framework. So apart from this Spring and Hibernate, you can also use Struts framework. So Struts, but it is not used much. So wherever you go, or whatever software development field you see out, they will be either using Java Spring or they will be preferring Java Hibernate. And this SE is nothing but this is Selenium testing, right? So Selenium testing is one most popular testing tool, right? So software testers always use this Selenium testing part to test real-time applications. So next is it mandatory to learn database in this year 2020? So of course yes. So because database is a part, or database is where we used to store all our data in a server. So without the database, even I can't have any username or password, I can't store anything anywhere, right? So it means that the key thing through which we are hosting any site or we are getting any data is nothing but it is the help of database. And here either you can go with DBMS or else you can go with RDBMS. So hope you will be aware of what is DBMS and RDBMS, where it is based on something like tables, and something will be unstructured data and so on, right? So let's see some popular one which we can learn for database. So the most popular ones nowadays is like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. Same way we have MongoDB concept and MySQL. And for mobile operating system, we are mostly using Firebase or else we are using SQLite, right? So for example, if I want to develop any native mobile applications, in that case I won't prefer much with MySQL or MongoDB. Instead, we will be going with the database called as either Firebase or else we will be moving with SQLite. So next is we have spoken about what is front end and back end, right? So see, for back end we have seen what are the scopes we have for back end. Also we have discussed about front end, and also we have discussed about data storage, right? So now the next thing comes here is mobile application development, right? So for any of the software development or for developing any web applications, we very well know with the help of front end as well as with the help of back end, such as Python Django or Python Flask. Same way with Java Spring or with Java Hibernate, we can host any kind of web applications or websites or whatever stuff we want. Similar to this, we need to know something about mobile application development. So here mobile application development technologies include like for Android, you have to go with either Kotlin or Java, and if you want to develop applications only for iOS, we need to go with Shift, or else you need to know about Objective-C. So same way, if I want to learn one stuff and if I want to use for multiple items like iOS as well as for Android, in that case I'll be preferring either React Native, or will be preferring Flutter, or will be preferring Ionic framework, right? So already we have spoken about what is React.js. Also we know about what is AngularJS. So React Native is nothing but it is a combination of your React.js, HTML, JavaScript and CSS, right? So if you are familiar with HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React.js, then you can directly go with React Native. So same way, coming back to the last one, Ionic framework. So if you are a mean stack developer, then you can also go with Ionic framework, and for merge stack developers you can go with React Native. And what is that in between one, we call it as Flutter, right? So Flutter is nothing but it is a new language which is based on Dart programming language, right? So Flutter is a new framework that is based on Dart programming language, which is recently launched by Google, right? So I guess in the year 2017 to 2018 they have launched this Flutter framework. So but it is not too popular, but still most of the companies are preferring Flutter also. So for Flutter, the backend is nothing but Dart programming language. So if you are good at Dart programming language, we can start with Flutter framework. So if you are good at React.js, right? So before getting to know about React.js, you should have a strong knowledge with JavaScript, also HTML and CSS, right? So before learning React.js, the roadmap should be like HTML, then CSS, then JavaScript, React.js, and at last it should be React Native, where with the help of React Native, by using the same code, I can either develop it for Apple, that is iOS, or else for Android operating system. Same way, if you have a strong knowledge about AngularJS, you can either go with you can use Ionic framework, which can be used for both iOS as well as for Android. So this is some more popular technologies for mobile application development. So hope you enjoy this video, and thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Think Once, Code Anywhere.